let's do this. Okay. Let's go. What's up? Good evening. How y'all doing? Okay, so how y'all doing? Hello, Lucas. What's up? Hello, whatever your name is. Y'all call me these weird internet names. Like, who, like, this is what, is it Turkish? Coming up with some weird internet names. Brova, so that's your name. Okay. Hello, Brova. Okay, one second, I'm coming. I just want to make sure I did not accidentally delete something. Okay, good. Let's go. So, because I represent science. So Dr. Fauci is popping up on my feed. People talk about he should be arrested because he lied about COVID, but Biden already pardoned him, so you cannot prosecute Dr. Fauci. And honestly, I feel indifferent towards Dr. Fauci. I feel indifferent towards Dr. Fauci. The only thing that matters is the Trump administration was able to get the COVID-19 vaccine done. And it was the end of the pandemic. And there were no mask mandates or vaccine. No, there were no vaccine mandates. People choose if they want to take the vaccine, yes or no. People had the opportunity to choose whether they want to take the vaccine, yes or no. And it was a big disappointment that Tulsi Gabbard stepped out of a position of Director of National Intelligence. I know that her husband had cancer and she wanted to be with him. But me, I hate when my predictions are wrong. Because I predicted that she was going to carry her position to term, and I was wrong. Maybe if her husband had not been diagnosed, she would have carried her position to term. Okay, so let's see. So RFK Jr. said America faces more than a chronic disease epidemic that threatens our physical health. We also face a spiritual malaise that undermines our mental health. Our children are increasingly isolated, fragmented, anxious, spending more than 8.5 hours a day on screen. This summer put down the phone and reconnect with the nature, family, and community. It's time to take back your health. Why do I look like you? I don't know. Why does Ben Shapiro look like Brett Cooper, even though they're not related? Am I gay? No, I'm not gay. So, like I was saying, so to do Vex, you said, why do I look like you? Like, I don't know. There's some people who look like each other, like Brett Cooper and Ben Shapiro. Brett Cooper is the female version, is the female version of Ben Shapiro. I'm 25. Dodo Vex. Okay, so this is RFK Jr.'s video that I'm going to play. Came to Colorado today. Hi, I'm RFK Jr., Judge Secretary. You came to Colorado today to announce aging. Oh, you're aging? Okay. Justice's new website, deadactive.gov. We have a chronic disease epidemic in our country. 80% of adults do not get enough physical activity. 80% of adults does not get physical activity. So this is RFK Jr. hat that he just released on his X account. So this is what I'm playing. So this is RFK Jr. Physical activity. 77% of our kids can't qualify for military service. 35% of our Yeah, I don't know why you're so concerned, Jojo Bob. RFK Jr. I like RFK Jr.'s had that release. Okay, so let's see. Okay, there's an account that goes by Deep Blue Crypto, and he said that Dr. Hugo Fauci, he lied under oath repeatedly, hid the gain of function research, and suppressed the lab leak theory. Like I said, I'm reiterating what I said. There's nothing they can do to Dr. Fauci because he was pardoned. Okay, so hello, Fire Queen. How are you? I've already said hello, Fire Queen. Welcome to the stream. Okay, so RFK Jr. was at a World Cup game, and then he met with Secretary Rights, and he said sports to unite people across culture and border, inspire teamwork and healthy competition, and strengthen communities. Okay, I'm not really familiar with that guy. I mean, the United States, they did well in the World Cup. They won all four of their group stages for the first time ever. to say the United States are awful at soccer, but it looks like the national teams are good. I wonder if there will ever be an African team that will ever win a World Cup. Morocco did really well in the 2022 World Cup. They made it all the way to the semifinals, where they lost against France. Where they lost against France. Okay. Okay, Kim Iversen came with her. She just dropped a video. She said the Epstein people lured her to a Mar-a-Lago prostitute party. Let's see. Joining us is Molly Sky Brown. Oh yeah, she's interviewing someone. Okay. But this is an hour long. I'm not gonna watch this. Whatever. When I watched Andrew Wilson debates against Brian Shapiro a few months ago, they debated Renee Good and then Epstein. One of my favorite lines from Andrew Wilson was, "I don't think this country voted against Trump because he exploited minors." That was one of my favorite lines because that is actually true. I don't think Tom Powell Jr., Stella Maggs, Brian Tyler Cohen, and the rest of these guys voted against Trump because he exploited minors. Okay, weird how there's an account user that goes by the Babylon BB. He said weird how that forgiveness things work with her. Woman who instantly forgave her husband assassin can't forgive anyone questioning her narratives. Okay, so they're talking about Erica Kirk. Okay, it's whatever. Hello, Ryan Latif.
Nah, no. I texted him. שלנו. מדינת ישראל לא תהיה אפיזודה חולפת בתולדות עמנו. אנחנו עומדים איתן על האינטרס...
Okay, this is James Lee that said, she tweeted that Netanyahu will make sure Iran never gets a nuclear weapon by continuing to bomb southern Lebanon. What a psycho clown. This is actually accurate from James Lee. Because if you want to make sure that Iran never gets a nuclear weapon, you will bomb Iran. You will not bomb Lebanon. Okay, let's look up where is Lebanon located. Let's see. So Lebanon is a country in the Levant region in West Asia. So it's located in West Asia. Asia. But that's a good point from James Lee. Because people continue to call Iran not Lebanon. Okay. Let's see what else. Clutchpoint. For years the narrative was simple. The West is stronger, the East can't compete. But the finals have told a different story. The East is 2-1 against the West over the last three NBA finals. And if not for her devastating injury to Tyrese Halliburton, there's a good chance that record could be 3-0. I mean, I don't think the East was the East was not weak. The West is still by far stronger than the East, but the East is not that weak. The Cavs were good. The Celtics they're kind of a joke because they blew a 3-1 lead against the Sixers. The Sixers are good. And then the Pacers did not make the playoff. And the Knicks are good. Eagleman posted a funny meme about Trump, Hillary, Biden, and Gavin Newsom. Ice cream. Sometimes AI can be funny. Here. Jacob Russell is doing his tour, being interviewed by Mikhail Andrew. Okay. Okay, Candace Owens said there's no way. He's responding to. She's responding to Hallie Files. She said there's no way. So, Candace doesn't have any receipts, and it's a carnal Christian soap opera.
and you're suckered into it. She's making $800,000 a week, and you're attacking a widow on innuendo, supposition, vain speculation, and it's shameful when you should be caring for a widow. I don't understand it. She's going to go bankrupt. This next one with Charlie's chief of security, Brian, she's done. But here's the thing. We ended the Salem witch trials in 1692 in America. And it was a minister who ended them. His name was Increase Mather. And they had murdered 19 people. And you know why they did it? They had spectral evidence. You know what spectral evidence is? I had a dream. Charlie spoke to me. Sound familiar? Hello? Some of you don't want to.
Honestly, I think her dream was manufactured. Her dream about Charlie Kirk spoke to her was manufactured. For someone who has had a lot of dreams before, it is hard to dream about the same person repeatedly.
Nod because you've been watching that garbage. Had a dream. Spectral evidence was outlawed because the scripture said 2 or 3 witnesses. 2 or 3 witnesses.
So she's responding to Ali Files' tweet. So here. So she said there's no way he's dumb enough to believe that I am making 800K a week on YouTube. Not even girl math could come up with a number that's obtuse. These pastors lied like they breathe, and it's the very reason why so many are exiting these fake churches. So this guy is a pastor. I assume she make a lot with Superchat and sponsors and so forth. Breaking news, Knicks ring don't count. Okay, I don't know how their ring don't count. They won the championship. Ring counts. Even though the Los Angeles won their Mickey Mouse ring in 2020, that ring counts. Dwight Howard is forever an NBA champion. Even though he should have ended his career without an NBA title. Ring count, the Warriors ring in 2017 and 2018 counts. Even though they diminished the competition to benefit them. Shotgun said Candace Owens has spent Candace Owens has spent her entire Father's Day arguing with Loomer on X instead of spending time celebrating with the father of her 4 children, who was previously accused of trying to forcefully kiss a man while grabbing for his crotch, as Candace was standing just a few feet away. Shotgun is a savage. Shogun is a savage. Cinema Shogun. Okay. Godfrey Hegelman said Fauci lies. Max and vaccine didn't work. That's not true. Mask and vaccine worked. It did not stop you from getting COVID, but it prevented serious hospitalization and death. Okay. So Trump tweeted on on his Truth Social account that Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni asked over and over for a picture with me during the G7 meeting in France. She's doing poorly in Italy with her level of popularity, possibly because she turned down the United States of America, a country that truly loves and protects Italy. When it came to denying Iran from obtaining or developing a nuclear weapon, but so did NATO for that matter. We shouldn't even let us use Italy landing strip or runaways. A great logistical inconvenience, and this despite the fact that US contributes hundreds of billions of dollars a year to protect Italy and other so-called NATO allies. Now, after the United States defeated Iran militarily, she, want her, she wants to be friends again in order to get her numbers up. No thanks. So Trump is able to see that the Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni is trying to kiss his butt, and he's smelling bullcrap. And then Laura Loomer responded to that post. I love President Trump's bluntness. He's completely in the right about this interaction he had with Giorgi Meloni. Everyone in politics is a user or an abuser, and Trump is calling this out on a global stage while restoring the concept of loyalty and reciprocity back to diplomacy. It's also relatable too. We all know that the type of person in our lives. And that's true. I agree with our post. So Golf Evil Man tweeted 2 hours ago that he have the best 4 kids ever. God's greatest gift to my life, and it's not even close. And on top of that, they are all 4 of them are Trump supporters. I don't know why people are hyping up the Knicks. They always want to brag. They want to brag that the Knicks went 15-3 in the playoffs. The Pacers will beat them if they meet in the playoff in 2027. They will beat them again, just like they beat them again in the conference final. Just like they beat them in the conference final in 2025. I mean, the Cavs and the Sixers were a good team, but I think the Pacers they can beat them. Okay. I mean, I'm not even going to play music now. Yeah. No, I'm not playing music. Okay, Bill Mitchell said it's all going to work out, folks. Don't forget, China holds 50 billions of Iran money, and they want the strait open. Iran may talk a big game, but they'll open the strait. Okay. My page just said you can't negotiate with terrorists. You can't turn a terrorist into a civilized human being. Ooh. So Tulsi Gabbard said she confirmed the American people that Obama and senior official around him attempted a coup. This is treason. Hold them accountable. This is possibly the most alarming act of treason since the Lincoln assassination.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sean. This is such an important issue, and Yeah, thank you so much, Sean. This is such an important issue, and I just want to start by saying that this is an issue that is important to every single one of us as Americans. This is not a partisan issue. It has to do with the integrity and the strength of our democratic republic. And it lays out this over 100 documents that you're referencing that I released, declassified and released, spells out in great detail exactly what happens when you have some of the most powerful people in our country directly leading at the helm. President Obama delivered a historic victory to President Trump, defeating Hillary Clinton. And President Obama and his team, their goal was to essentially not accept the decision of the American people.
Okay, so this is about the classifying the 2016 intel report finding that Russia did not change election results. Yeah, I do agree. Russia did not change election result. Trump easily defeated Hillary in the Electoral College votes. He easily defeated Hillary in the Electoral College. It wasn't a Bush v. Gore scenario where it came down to one state. In Florida, they improved their voting system ever since the 2000 election. They are the first few states to finish counting votes, all the vote before poll closes. Okay, so Benny Johnson said there's a path to prosecute Fauci. I don't think it's going to happen because I don't know if presidential pardon can be reversed.
Fauci was being paid. Here's the pardon of Dr. Fauci. It starts in 2014. You can see here it was signed by Joe Biden's auto pen, not Joe Biden's actual signature. Is the pardon actually something that would withstand a court system or actual legal rigor? I'm not sure, but here's what I know about the year 2014. That's during the Obama presidency. That's the exact year when Barack Obama said that you will not be doing gain-of-function research here in America. Up until that point, Dr. Fauci was being paid an enormous sum of money through the Patriot Act and the CIA in order to conduct bioweapons research in America. Dr. Fauci in 2014 moved all that offshore. And so that's why the pardon goes to 2014. Because they knew that was the moment that Dr. Fauci started doing the bioweapons experiments in Ukraine and in China and in various different other nations around the world. Tulsi Gabbard proved this in her last act as ODNI director. She said never before seen documents expose the truth about Fauci, directing millions of U.S. taxpayer dollars to fund dangerous gain-of-function research at the Wuhan lab. The intelligence community suppressed the truth about these actions. You know that Dr. Fauci had this thing cooking because Dr. Fauci said he was going to release the COVID virus on the Trump administration. If you know where to look, and if you're smart enough to be paying attention, which is what this channel does, you'll know about this clip, Dr. Fauci, at this point, and a totally and completely obscure bureaucrat. There is no giving a pointless speech, some dusty room with probably 20 people there, and some Georgetown lunch where nobody's even listening to him. But Dr. Fauci told you the plan. This is the day before Trump was sworn into office in 2017. Is that there is no question that there will be a challenge, the coming administration, in the arena of infectious diseases, both chronic infectious diseases in the sense of already ongoing disease, and we have certainly a large burden of that, but also there will be a surprise outbreak. So, like, in what world, Dr. Fauci's been working inside of the federal government's health system since Jimmy Carter. He started at Gerald Ford and Jimmy Carter. So he didn't say this during Gerald Ford or Jimmy Carter or Reagan 1 or Reagan 2 or Bush or Clinton 1 or Clinton 2. He didn't say it during Bush 1 or Bush 2. He didn't say it during Obama 1 or Obama 2. He only said it that there would be a surprise outbreak during and right when President Trump is about to be sworn into office. Why is that?
Okay, so Benny Johnson's point is Fauci predicted that the COVID pandemic was going to happen during the Trump administration, which it did in 2020.
Because as we found out this week, Dr. Fauci created the virus, and they have all the documentation to back that up. But you might say, oh, look, here's the pardon of Dr. Fauci from Joe Biden. Maybe the signature isn't his, maybe not. You could argue that. But you could still say that the dates work out in his favor right here, because it says that any offenses against the United States that he may have committed or taken part of for the period of January 1st, 2014 to the date of the pardon, right? Well, ladies and gentlemen, Tulsi Gabbard has come in over the top and said, why didn't you create a path to prosecute him? You waited. Why? He lied to Congress in 2024. There is a path, says Tulsi Gabbard, mentioning potentially this testimony from Dr. Fauci, where Dr. Fauci is openly lying to Congress and Rand Paul. If you look at those viruses, and that's judged by qualified virologists and evolutionary biologists, those viruses are molecularly impossible. They are gain-of-function viruses because they're animal viruses that became more transmissible in human, and you funded it. And you did the truth. And you went to find your trying to start, and I will now witness it. You see that fucking shape like that? You see that fucking 100,000 media hits and never chased it. Although, ain't doing any media hits anymore. Isn't that interesting? Dr. Fauci just vanished. How would that be? Because the PR flacks that he works with are telling him to shut up and stay out of the spotlight because they know he's guilty. That's why he get pardoned. That's why he got his pardon. And Tulsi is saying that he lied to Congress in 2004. There is a path. This would be Fauci lied to Congress in 2021. 2021 statute of limitations has run out for only the first of the 3 felony cases. So what she's saying is the statute of limitations. So Dr. Fauci could get the charges thrown out of court immediately by saying, hey, there's a 5-year statute of limitations to lying to Congress, which there is. Lying to Congress is something very serious, punishable by huge fines, $250,000 fine, 5 years in prison if you lie to Congress. So don't lie to Congress. And Dr. Fauci lied to Congress just 2 years ago, says Tulsi Gabbard. So you're well within the statute of limitations to charge him. So that means that the trial would move forward. Then Dr. Fauci would need to argue his pardon. And then that would add the question of, is this a real pardon? First, you have to bring the charges. First, you should be charging Dr. Fauci. You know, they've already charged and impaneled grand juries against a number of Dr. Fauci's senior lieutenants. How is this not the leading news story everywhere on earth? Tulsi Gabbard, I love this era of Tulsi clapbacking. Seeing who is choosing not to report on it tells the story. Well, yeah, because the corporate media were complicit in all of this. Thank Tulsi Gabbard for releasing the truth about Dr. Fauci, China, and the COVID virus. Well, I was the ambassador to Iceland. I called out the fake news and disinformation. I was criticized for telling the truth. Truth will always prevail. What does Tulsi say to this? Always. And she says, Fauci was funding the lab and then lying under oath shows exactly why trust in these agencies hit rock bottoms. Head should roll. One of many examples, says Tulsi, sadly. And thank you, Tulsi says, RFK, among the most consequential crimes in human history. This aged incredibly well, I said yesterday. My pronoun to prosecute Fauci. Elon Musk saying the world's biggest banger here in 2022. 213,000 reposts, 1.1 million likes, 91,000 comments.
Okay, so I'll just stop it here. Okay. I mean, we'll see if they will. I don't think they can prosecute Fauci because he got a pardon. There might be loophole to reverse that pardon. You never know. Okay, I'll end the stream now.